So, this is the new game. This is a game that, if only you could see. Hi, if
Hello.
you could see the amount of backstory written by Kyle here for these characters. You'd feel, you'd feel what I felt. All right, but the world is being fleshed out as I've written it. We have a completely original idea here. You won't see all the characters right out the gate.
Mm,
We're playing this a bit differently. We're playing this more I think JRPG style. Characters will be introduced and added to the party as the game goes on, and this game will go for a bit. Hopefully, I've tried to write something that isn't a 3-year long story, but only playing an hour and a half ish each week will
we'll see.
certainly every other week. You know, just say we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll eventually get through things. Uh, so, uh, without too much more, I mean, we're set in a world. We'll talk about that more soon.
Yeah, there's not really any need for a recap. So, for those of you that are here, go ahead and grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and let's get ready to roll some death saves with advantage here. Okay, so um, I just we just wait for Earl to unmute himself here, and then
I was talking to. I said, "Do you like my song?"
I do.
Can't speak for chat, I suppose. Uh, anyway, quick little background. All that they need to know. You are on the world known as Iamar. Iyemar. You, Vatra, are currently traveling. Um, with a halfling that we'll all meet soon, uh, to the city of Miasto. It's actually more of a small city, almost town level small. Uh, and you're in the country of Zemia, Ziemia. Well, you know, this info will all be available somewhere online, so you won't have to guess. Um, yeah, you have traveled from further north in the country. You've known your driver here for a couple of months. You've been traveling. So this is all starting right as you're pulling up to the city or the town of Miasto.
Okay.
Oh, what we have, got a little thing written here. Anyway, so in the small town of Miasto, there's not much in the way of entertainment. It's a nice enough town full of well-kept greenery, abundant farmland, and it's only a few weeks' travel from the coastal city of Enschel, which is a much more common destination for travelers. The town has a handful of storefronts. You see a large church or temple, and you see a gated cemetery that you can't make out too well from the edge of town. From what you can tell, it doesn't seem to be very well taken care of. What do the listeners see when Vatra is rolling up into town here?
So assume that we're in. Is it like horse and buggy? Is it like just a
This
wagon, open top wagon, a
this is
carriage?
a very special wagon. It's not covered, but it looks like it is.
Okay.
Uh, driven by a horse. Well, the horse is pulling it. It's
Mm,
driven by your halfling driver. Again, we'll get back to him in a little while.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, outsiders will see this wagon as covered. You inside of it can perfectly well see out of it. So, what does Vatra look like? If you'd like to describe him to those watching or listening.
So Vatra is a looks to be like a male human, but who's uh has like bronze colored skin, yellow eyes, fiery orange hair, and he's wearing a black jacket and with some red accents, no shirt on underneath, and you see these lines of that same orange color running across his chest, and then as he like is just leaning back, you can see it a little bit on his wrists as well. Um, and he's just nonchalantly looking around outside of illusion. I'm assuming
Yeah,
outside of the illusion that covers this uh, cart.
yeah. Vatra, you've determined over your travels with uh, so far in the last couple of months that the enchantment is directly part of the cart, and it seems permanent. So it's not a upkept spell or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of neat. You don't ask too many questions, to be honest. You're not necessarily a huge conversationalist with the driver here, but I'm sure many conversations have happened against your will. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe you did make the art. Shout out to Keg Orange in the chat. All right. So you, as you're making it into town, you start to look around. It's around noon here. You see like a handful of families out with their children. Variety of different races here. You got some humans, some half elves, some dwarves, some gnomes. Um, Kelly doesn't stream. Anyway, uh, no one looks like they're afraid of you, but you are definitely getting looks of like shock. They've never seen anybody who
Like,
looks
this
like you.
bronzish orange dude just hopped out of the back of a cart that looked like it had a cover. I know that'd be
Well,
shocking for anybody.
they didn't exactly notice that. You already kind of made your way in. So you're walking around. You see a handful of different shops. Again, you see this temple. Uh, the symbol on it. Go ahead and make a religion check to see if you can determine
All right.
deal with
First
this symbol.
roll.
First roll of the game. What we got?
11.
11. Not too shabby. An 11 will give you. Uh, you're pretty sure you've seen this symbol before. Some god of justice or something like that. You can't remember the name off the top of your head.
Hmm.
God of justice. Interesting. It's not a overwhelmingly good. Just in this case. You see a couple shops, like I said before. One of them is labeled as the sign says Elia's Little Shop of Oddities. Uh,
Okay.
it stands out from the buildings around it. It's painted a bright yellow. Thanks for the lurk. We have a lurk command if you want to shout it out there. WAP streams. Um, anyway, yeah, it's painted bright yellow. There's like vines and other plants wrapping around a lot of the exterior. It's still nestled in between a couple other normal looking buildings. You see that. Uh, you also see tucked away right in the heart of the town. Yeah, lurk away, please, 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 please. Uh, you see a tavern. It's run of the mill. Doesn't look extraordinary at all. The sign above the door reads "The Clumsy Ogre Inn and Tavern." Uh, yeah, so you're out here in the middle of the town.
What time of day is it?
It's around noon.
Around noon. All right. Grinnell, I think we found a place to rest for the night at least.
Hi. So everybody sees this halfling who you would swear is like half dwarf or something. Pretty stout looking little halfling. Is a stout halfling, but beyond that even, and has a beard. Has like a relatively bushy beard. Has like piercing green eyes. Has a lute strapped over his back. Uh, and he takes a look at Vatra. He just says, "I, I'll see if I can't perform us a free night of stay.
Sure.
I'm gonna go get a few drinks. Why don't you check out the town?"
Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. And as he's walking away, anything to get away from my ear being chewed off. So just looking about the town, does it seem like outside of the little shop of oddities, that maybe like it's more agricultural related, or does it like seem like it's more business than that?
Oh, the town is kind of just a small town. It's got a little bit of both.
Okay.
Uh, it's well kept mostly. It's you know, again, seems pretty family heavy. As you're looking around, you see there's kind of like a main strip, and then off of that are a lot of little small like cul-de-sac little neighborhoods of houses. Seems a pretty chill place.
I'll just walk around, try to get a decent layout, an idea of the layout of the town, I should say.
Give me that perception check.
All right. Ooh. Aw.
Okay. Yeah, 14.
14.
14 is not a bad roll at all.
I was
You're
looking
looking.
at the 19.
Oh, was it almost 19? Uh, yeah, as you're looking around, you notice like out of the corner of your eye. I mean, you're getting a good lay of the town, but you notice
hmm
you swear you see like the corner of your eye like two figures like standing in an alleyway. They're kind of hooded and cloaked.
Do I see anything like town guard walking around?
No, nothing like that. But you see these two figures off in this alleyway.
Is it just like dead end alley, or does it seem like it could
You can't
maybe?
tell from your angle.
Okay.
Uh, do you turn to look towards them closer?
I am just double checking one thing. I will casually or like nonchalantly walk towards that alley, uh, just so it doesn't like look like I'm definitely going down there, but I'll make my
Okay.
way towards it.
As you start to like turn to go towards it, you see the figures dart back out of the way, and then you hear in the back of your mind, "Follow us if you dare."
Did they? Did it look like they went further into the alley?
Yeah.
Did they go in the same direction, or is it like a T intersection somewhere further down that they split off?
As you're getting closer to the alley, it kind of just looks like it goes back and rounds around the corner. So more of a T.
Okay. Um. I look around as I walk into the alley. Does it seem like anybody's watching me? Or
Nice. All families kind of again, they're kind of interested in the way you look, but no one that seems like they're concerned about what you're doing.
all right, here we go. And with a little, as he after he walks down the alley, little
Hmm.
flick of his wrist, there's a uh spark that starts in his hand and shoots forward. As he has this black steel rapier that just appears in his hand.
All right.
Um, and it has intricate like weaving flames that almost match the lines running up his across his body that just spiral up around the tip of the blade.
Sure.
And he starts walking down. He like even though he can produce this weapon, he still has a hilt for it or a like a loop, so he can just have it there. So he's not gonna look intimidating like coming for a fight, but he has it.
Okay. Correct. Absolutely correct. Uh, so yeah, as you round this corner, you come upon an interesting sight of these two hooded figures, again dressed like completely covered in robes. And as you're getting closer, you can see the robes are mostly black, but they have like a light purple trim. And as you're on the corner, you see one of them is now sitting at a table opposite you, kind of looking towards you, and the other one is standing and gestures to the seat across from the other. Make a perception check for me.
Let's see it. Ooh.
One, you swear that you see a hand with no skin on it. You
Is this
kind of
from the individual at the table?
the one gesturing for you to sit, because it gestured out with their hand, and you swear the hand didn't have any skin.
Hmm. And I look. The other person is standing,
The
or are they
one
both?
is standing and gesturing you, and the other one is sitting at a chair at the other side of the table. The other one is gesturing for you to sit down. He's kind of standing next to the table.
Okay. Hello, and he sits down. So, were you just looking for anybody who happened to take notice of you obviously standing in an alleyway, or were you waiting for somebody in particular?
Our organization works with very particular folk. Uh, you followed.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like someone looking for answers.
Maybe.
We are part of an organization that follows someone who can definitely give you answers.
It's sounding like religion.
The difference here is that we can you can actually meet the person in charge.
This is sounding like a cult.
Well, labels or not, we will, of course, not do this for nothing. There are a few qualifiers.
Real quick,
Sure.
can I see if I can get any semblance of a read on him when I mention cult
Sure,
instead
give
of
it
religion?
11.
11.
He doesn't, wasn't too shaken by it. He's probably definitely heard that before.
Okay.
You're unsure. Uh, there are a few qualifiers. We can't just let anyone. It's not even joining us. It's just working for us for a short time.
Hmm.
We have a job we are in need of help with, and you seem capable from our very brief meeting here. We do have a meeting tonight, and we would ask that you come prepared to prove what you are capable of.
What have I proven today? All I did was follow you down an alleyway. Seems
we
like
have
the threshold isn't that high.
we have a good eye. We're not often noticed either. The choice is yours.
Does this place have a name?
We will send for you. Just carry on with the rest of your day for now.
He'll get up, look at both
Mhm.
of them, and as he leaves, the rapier burns up.
Do you turn back around to look at them as you leave?
As he's getting towards the corner, yeah.
They're not there.
Okay.
Table's gone too. You know they were there for real,
Yeah.
but
He just shakes his head.
fair enough. Do you want to check some things out in the town? Again, you saw this temple, you saw a cemetery gate from kind of afar, you saw a tavern, you saw a shop, and there was a couple of other buildings, but nothing of note.
Um, I will. I'll check out the temple at the very least to get the name of the deity.
Sure. Okay. So as you approach this temple, it's a pretty tall building. It's 2 floors, with a steeple. Uh, Again, symbol on the front of it. Uh, which I, should probably have exactly what that symbol should look like. That is not what I typed. Yeah, you see like a shield with kind of the typical like scale, like the balanced scale representing justice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you?
are
Yeah,
there
you.
is there
You think
anybody
you're
like?
standing at the door. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Are there any acolytes like outside of the temple, or is
Yep.
it just a closed door?
There happens to be one outside. The door is open. It looks like he just walked outside to tend to some plants.
I see him. I see him walking out, and I'm just gonna like walk up and just look curious.
Okay. Yes. Can I help you?
I'm
Let me do a roll for him real quick.
sorry. There are so many deities. That you don't quite know all of them.
we we don't get a lot of Genasi around this parts.
Yes, I know.
This is a temple of Tyr.
Hmm. And
We
Tyr is
Tyr is a god of justice among above all other things, but we also look to him for peace and guidance. This town has had a bit of a trouble with and you see him kind of side eye the cemetery gate that's off the side of town.
I'll just blatantly look at it.
We don't often go there. Um, the dead don't always like to stay dead,
Understood.
but we're we've managed to keep ourselves mostly safe here.
I was gonna say
Uh,
this place seems to be pretty peaceful for the most part.
we've worked that way. Again, justice above all. Care to come in?
Sorry. No. Everyone has their own patrons that they follow.
Sure. Yeah. If you change your mind and you want to just check out the place, let me know. All are welcome, even if they don't follow tier.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say that you would know that tier is not necessarily a deity that's just about good, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not a good versus evil thing. It's more just a justice thing, just
The
carrying out
law.
what should be done, the law.
Law versus chaos. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting. Then he'll walk back to the tavern.
Sure. I'm gonna stop that music for now. Oh, you walk back to the tavern.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, it's like again maybe go around 1 p.m. or so. You enter the tavern. You do see Grenell at the bar, uh, talking to a goblin bartender who is cleaning some glasses, handing out drinks. There's a good dozen people or so in here for
Mm-hmm.
the fact it's the middle of the day. The general kind of, you know, typical drunken small town crowd, I suppose. They're not rowdy, but they're certainly, you see one just already passed out, a few others playing card games, things like that.
Uh, looking over at the ones that are playing the card games.
Mhm.
Does anybody seem like they're cheating? Do they have any cards up their sleeves?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Aw,
You're not sure,
that's a
but one of them
4.
does seem pretty angry at the other two. But it's more
Hmm.
like a "you're cheating," and he kind of just slams his drink down, going towards himself. They get in a little bit of a tussle.
I'll walk up to the bartender that
Sure.
Grenel's talking with.
Hmm. Yeah. Again, you see this like he's like standing. He's got like a raised platform behind the bar so that he's tall enough to be able to reach everything. Uh, but he's just passing out. He's passing out drinks, kind of going about his own business. He looks at you. Oi,
So, what's the deal? And I look at Grenel.
what you mean?
Well, you said you were going to see if you could get us some rooms.
Oh, I got to perform later. I got to wait till this isn't a crowd. This is the drunkards.
You can still have that conversation before they show up.
Oh, well, I'm performing later. I've got to perform well for it to count. We'll have a room either way. Don't worry.
I just, how much for a room?
Oh, no faith in your no faith in him.
How much for a room?
And it's a silver.
Keep that in mind. And
Uh,
I'll get just the house brew, whatever it is.
Hasbro, he hands you this. Just it looks thick. Just a brown ale.
How much for the? Is it like a copper
It's
too?
like 2 copper.
High
You
end
slide
stuff.
your glass.
Okay, and
Yeah, slide your glass.
Vatra will. I'll nurse this
You'll nurse it.
for the
It's
rest of
not
the
too
day.
bad. You've had worse.
Mm-hmm.
You're just nursing it throughout. Okay, so you're just chilling in the tavern, not checking anything else out in town. Chatting with the bartender at all? Any of the patrons?
Nah,
No.
nah.
All right. So you kind of just wait out the day. Grenel's trying to make conversation with you and the bartender throughout the day, and at one point he's like, "So what's the deal with this town?" And you hear the bartender say back, "Well, we kind of keep to ourselves. Most people following tier there. It's all about justice. You can't really get away with anything too bad." And he looks over at the people playing cards. He's like, those that they can cheat on each other, but I wouldn't go doing that to any of the shops.
Mm.
Everybody's pretty on top of it." Uh, and I was like, "Well, what? Is there anything to do?" He's like, "You're doing it. Just drink it." And he just takes the bartender takes a sip of a drink himself and just eyes you. And goes, "This one never shut up."
If you ignore him enough, then he starts talking to himself, and it's worse.
Yeah, sounds right. Well, I'll talk regardless, so you two can just go on your merry way. Is there anything we should watch out for here? And I wouldn't go to the cemetery. If that's what you're looking at.
That's what they were saying over at the temple. The dead don't
Oh,
like to
really?
stay dead, I hear.
Yeah, it's locked,
Hmm.
but they're coming in and out. I think they're smarter than we expect them to be.
Could be the case.
Well, it's uh it's gonna be a while before the crowd gets here. I'll leave you to it, and he just goes and does the other patrons. Okay, so if you're just gonna chill,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to deal with Grenell talking all day about various things,
Yeah.
asking you lots of questions. You're ignoring pretty much 90% of them, I would guess.
It's a lot of mm-hmm.
At
Yeah.
one
No,
point, he does
no.
ask, "So, why fire today?"
Changing it up.
Hmm. I like the water guy better.
It's also a bit of a mood. Not too talkative today.
That's all right. All right. So you sit in non-silence for 2 hours until enough of a crowd stirs the Grinnell, kind of cracks his fingers, and he stretches out, and you see him disappear for a little while. And he comes back a little while later. You make me do this now, Kyle. You're not doing anything else first. Well, anyway, there's a
Hey, we
small stage.
started with Vatra.
Uh, so you watch as Grinnell walks over to a small stage in the corner from out back. Uh, he he looks around to the crowd and he kind of takes a deep breath in, stretches out, sighs, stands up on the stage, uh, and he strums this loud, strange chord. It's like more haunting than you'd expect from him. You've been with him a little while. You haven't heard him perform other than just practicing in the cart while going along. So you're curious how he does in a more serious situation. I apologize to any viewers who don't want to hear singing. Now, here's not the place to be then. But he he strums this haunting chord, and he gets ready to perform a song. Why did it not start at the beginning? Technical things. Kyle, how do I fix that problem?
It should just start at the beginning if you hit stop.
I did. There we go. There's his haunting chord. And he starts to sing. I will tell you a tale unlike any you've heard. Listen closely and cling to my every word. 'Tis a tale of creation, of chaos and nature, the towering trees and the smallest of creature. And he continues to strum as he speaks. Deep in the wildlands, with no father or mother, two beings were formed, yin and yang to each other. One carried the calmness and storms of the sea, one the fury and beauty of the fires that be. A voice came to them both, sounding ancient and wise. Perhaps Mother Nature herself in disguise. You are the guardians of life and destruction. You balance each other, for through death comes construction. And you see him look around at the crowd. No one's too impressed yet, but they're interested. They're looking up. And Grenell, being who he is, he never shuts up. So he looks around, pulls the table a little bit closer, and dramatically jumps up on the table and begins to play a little bit louder and more excitedly. Yeah. And with that they watched over their little domain, till temptation crept into the fire soul's brain. A sinister voice promised power untold. I can see the destruction sown deep in your soul. I can teach you, it said, if you just work for me. Let the power of darkness set your inner strength free. And the smuggest of smiles then appeared on his face. I can finally be rid of this terrible place. At this point, Gretel starts to like dance along the table. Everyone's way more interested. This tale is like really catching their eye. And Vatra, you've got this confused look, Kyle. You've been doing it quite well this whole time. You're like, how did he know? Where's this tale from? And he gets ready for the last bit here. The water soul brother learned of this from Creator, and they worked to stop fire much sooner than later. They crafted a ritual to bring the brothers together, make them become one, to bind and to tether. The music picks up a little bit. And with simply a handshake, the magic was cast. And Fire Soul looked at his brother aghast. I'm sorry, said Water. It just had to be done. The chaos and order, they must stay as one. And it's said to this day that they wander and wait, the Fire Soul fighting to change his own fate. But this isn't a battle of evil and good, just two brothers a fighting, like two brothers should. And he steps down off the table to a room full of applause, takes a bow, and then he continues on with the rest of his performance. You're kind of
By the time if he's looking over the crowd, by the time he looks over at the bar, he just sees the goblin looking a little confused as he holds up a silver coin, and there's an empty tankard where Vatra was. Vatra's got his own room for the night.
fair enough. Uh, the goblin just kind of pockets it. It's like, I was gonna give him. That was pretty good. Okay.
He made sure that it's a 1 bedroom.
Oh, sure. And Grenell looks over and yeah, he sees Vatra gone and he kind of smirks a little bit. Thank you for the claps. Encore. I don't have any other prepared right now, but Grenell's performances will definitely be coming in and out throughout the show. It's a lot of fun, and they'll be a little bit more polished for the podcast. There's gonna be a podcast. This is all for a podcast. If anyone didn't
Yes.
know. So there's that. So you go to sleep for the night, but
I go up to the room and just
yeah,
sit.
yeah. Kyle, I am messaging you something, but I don't want people to see it.
It'll show up in chat.
I know.
Um,
Just hide chat for a second, and then I'll spam a bunch of random things for a minute.
okay. Yeah. Hang on, wait. Let me do this.
The bean has arrived. What's up, Bean? Why can't I remember how to whisper? G.
You would just
I don't even need to whisper.
you don't have to
Yeah.
whisper now. I just adjusted the capture.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. We're still gonna have it happen, but I got ideas.
I figured.
Secret. Hush. I don't want to get DMCA'd, but Gallivant isn't a supremely underrated television triumph. Anyway, let me spam like I'm gonna roll a whole bunch, or unless you already got it handled. I fixed it. That's above average. I rolled 100 D100. Anyway, so Vatra, as you are, don't look above this. Yes, very good. So Vatra, as you are resting there, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
It's this.
With advantage.
Okay, so that gives me the
Yeah.
15 then.
The 15. Yeah. So yeah, nothing's going on, nothing too crazy. You got it figured out. You don't sleep. You stay awake through the night. Make a Constitution save for me.
Also advantage or just straight?
This is advantage too.
Hey.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't feel too exhausted. You're okay at staying awake.
Okay.
So, as you make your way downstairs the next day, Do you hang out here? Where are you going today?
Well, I'm gonna head back to that alleyway because I was told that I would have somebody sent for me last night.
You were indeed. You you don't see anything at first, but you hang out there a minute and you see one of the figures come back. You were gone by the time we sent word.
I didn't go anywhere.
We know where you were, but by the time we arrived to speak to you, you had gone to bed for the evening. So it's
I think there
fine.
was a little miscommunication. All he was doing was going up to the room. He didn't intend to
Yeah,
go up
but
to
they
bed.
weren't
He
gonna
was
follow.
waiting for the message. And they
Right, but he
spoke in
went
his
right
brain
after you.
before, so he
Yeah,
assumed.
no, I know. It's fine. It's all good.
Listen, somebody has the ability to speak into my brain. They should be able to do that again. If
It's
you
fine.
really want me to go to this, whatever it is, put a little more effort in on your side.
Well, I was going to give you the information now.
What
I
is
need you
it?
to come to the cemetery tonight. We're going to meet you at the mausoleum.
It's locked. You expect me to break in?
I expect you to prove that you can make it to us, yes?
Hmm.
It's fine. Last night was. Eh, tonight's better. So,
I think he might be pissed at me. I want to see if he's miffed.
if he's miffed, no, make an
Yeah.
inside check.
7.
He's miffed. He seems pretty chill for the fact that he doesn't have normal hands. You can't see his face at all. He's completely covered. Uh, he's like, yeah, whatever. Last night was, we'll meet you tonight. Again,
I
because
would be careful who you invite. Uh, it seems like you're waiting for me specifically. I'm going to be nothing but more cautious and wary of you.
waiting for you specifically. In what way?
You invited me, and apparently, it's fine that I didn't go with your invitation last night. And today happens to be better.
Yeah, think what you will.
Since it's probably I got up, had breakfast, um, well, got ready for the day, had breakfast. It's probably early afternoon again. Uh,
Mm,
he'll kill some time. Uh, he'll check out the oddities shop.
sure. Uh, let's do that one. So you enter Elia's little shop of oddities.
Mm.
Um, and sorry, opening my notes so I have everything I need here. Uh, you see a human woman with short red hair. She's rather tall. She's like 6'2", you would guess. Um, she is wearing light leather armor, uh, but no sleeves. She's relatively built. You imagine this might be Elia. There's no one else in the shop currently. Hello? Don't see many like you around here.
I get that a lot.
I like the I like the color. And she kind of gestures to her hair, which is like a bright reddish orange. It's short, but it's
You don't see a lot of these around here, and he just gestures to the various oddities.
yeah, I've got many different things. Are you looking for anything particular?
No, we made our way into town yesterday and just been on the road for a bit, so I think we're gonna be here for a couple days.
Ah, well, you're very welcome. Again, breath of fresh air to see someone new. We don't get a lot of traffic in these parts.
Mm.
I hope you haven't been treated poorly by anyone.
Not that they know of. No, it's been great.
Not that they
Very,
know
very welcoming. Um,
of. Get that here.
what well, what do you have? What's your most
Well,
interesting thing?
what's my most interesting thing? Well, I have a couple different things here. She, oh, I don't even know what that does. I rolled for this and I never checked what it did. I didn't think anything of it. One second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, she says, "Well, I have some gems and other things. I have one weapon, surprisingly. You see a hammer. It's kind of hung up on the wall. You see a pair of bracers. You see like it's like almost a wind chime. Hey, RPG chick, thanks for tuning in.
Hey,
Hey, we're partway through here. You missed some singing. Don't worry, there's a podcast.
um,
Self promotion. Anyway,
all right. A hammer.
there's
Mm,
more. Sorry, one sec.
okay.
You see, uh, you see like a necklace with a gem in it. You see some potions of healing. You see a couple spell scrolls. It seems that are kind of in a case.
Hmm.
Um, and she says, "Well, this one is one of my favorites." And she pulls out yeah, yeah, you did. It'll be in the VOD, and again, it'll be there. Uh, but feel free to stick around, uh, please and thank you. I hope you're doing well. Um, she says, "This one's probably my favorite." She pulls out a deck of cards, uh, and the case itself is almost it's not transparent, but it definitely has an interesting like glow to it.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "These, uh, they can do some pretty interesting things."
I mean, I've seen magic tricks sleight of hand before. I mean, sure.
These are more magical than your standard sleight of hand.
What do they do? Did they each do something different? Did they all do the same thing? Slightly different?
This is says this is a deck of illusions.
Hmm.
No, 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 not way too early for that.
This is session one. Don't kill me yet.
uh, yeah, so you can make people think things are there. It can be very handy.
That sounds amazing, but it also sounds expensive.
Oh well, it's not too bad. Let's see. Uh, uncommon. How? No, it's common.
Deck of illusions?
Uncommon. Uncommon.
Uncommon. Okay.
Which is our number. Our number is one. I can't remember.
D6 times 100.
Thank you. That's what I
Is
thought.
this technically a consumable because the cards go away afterwards?
Yeah, I believe so. Isn't it
So
considered
then it
that way?
would be
Yeah,
half price.
yeah, I would think so. They do. Do they go away?
Yes.
Uh, card cannot be used again. Yeah, the card stays, but the image disappears from the card.
Okay.
Interesting.
So the magic
Uh,
fades.
I did roll max, so they are currently priced at 300 gold pieces.
That sounds amazing, and it is also expensive though.
It is
Like I
expensive.
said, we'll be here for at least a couple days, I would like to think. And I would love to get my hands on that deck of cards. So, looks like I'll be.
I'm very into discounts if you're buying in bulk.
If I'm buying in bulk, that means I've got enough money to buy it at the normal price.
Yeah, typically.
Unfortunately. But it seems as though I'll be looking into scrounging up some work around town if I want to get my hands on that deck of cards.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, it's nice to meet you. She
You
kind
as
of
well.
make an insight check.
Uh, 7.
7. Yeah, you're not sure. She kind of looks you up and down a couple times.
Yeah, I know Genasi are rare in these parts. He thinks to himself.
Yeah. Um, So I mean, she had a couple other little things in there that you
More
noticed.
baubles.
More bubbles. Yeah.
The hammer doesn't interest me.
No,
Bracers maybe, but um,
probably not.
probably not.
um,
But okay.
yeah,
Looks like I've got a goal, monetary wise at least.
sure.
Until head out.
Well, yeah, head out,
Um,
you check around.
yeah, he'll just putz around town. He didn't actually get to do a full sweep of of the town because he saw the folks in the back alley
Yeah, yeah,
almost
true.
immediately.
We can just carry you. Rolled well before. Um,
And part of that is he'll not get super close because he knows how people feel about the cemetery, but he will get close enough that he can kind of just
so you want to check it
look it
out.
over just to see it real quick and get a sense of,
Well, let's take a look at it then.
ooh,
So, um,
where would I be?
well, you can see, and it's not super well, super clear, but around the exterior, that right hand thing, that's a wall. That same type of wall extends around the entire perimeter, and the front gate is down here at the bottom. When did I once again put this on the wrong layer? I 100% did. There you go.
So
You would
this, got it.
be around here if you're going to the main gate, but that fence extends all the way around. It's just
This
all kind
fence
of
here, got it. Okay,
yep, and it's all the way around, and it's pretty tall. It's like almost 12 feet tall, the fence,
okay.
and the gate's a little bit taller than that. You see a real big padlock. Oh, you're not necessarily close enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna get close enough that I can kind of see things, but not close enough because I mean I draw attention as myself
Sure.
for
Uh,
merely existing. And I will just take a note of the 12-foot tall fence. The door that I've been told is locked.
sure.
Um, without being too conspicuous, can I? Is there a way for me to like walk around the cemetery as part of my walk about the city?
Yeah, and as you get closer, you know this gate is like it's barred, so you can see in.
Okay.
Um,
Are there
the
any
bars are close together.
as I walk around? Are there any gaps or slight bends in the fence anywhere?
It's investigation, even though it's from a distance, because you're looking for something pretty specific.
Investigate.
Mhm.
I have a +2 to just about everything, so 19.
19, pretty good. You see a couple spots that they don't look completely already broken open, but they're older, rusted a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. That's potential. You're a clever guy. You might be able to just climb right over if you do it right. Might be able to break open the lock. Depends on how you want to sneak in.
Okay.
You notice that it's like some of the graves are literally just open. It's not well kept. Like all the trees and stuff are overgrown. There's
Mm-hmm.
vines. The mausoleum does look pretty nice. Looks like the
Is that
most
what this is over here on the left?
in the center
Oh,
right here,
sorry. Right there.
right there. Yeah, it's pretty tall and it's pretty well kept
Okay.
compared to everything else. Hmm.
All right. Then I'll make my way around town, head back to the tavern a little before dinner time, like the dinner rush time, if there is one, assuming they have food. I'll eat then, and then I'll just hang out.
Sure. He doesn't. You notice the goblin doesn't charge you. Uh, he says, "I appreciate that charge last night, but it was taken care of by your friend there. He's better than I thought he would be."
I slide him 2 copper for the drink.
He gives you a drink and yeah, he gets you a drink again. You got some decent food. Um, yeah.
And yeah, that's I mean that's all he wants. He was okay. So he'll hang out at the tavern for the evening
You
until
stop through a song or two more by Grendel. He's developed a little fan base here.
hmm,
They seem into his story. Some of them ask him, "Where did you hear this story?" I'm like, Bard doesn't tell his secrets.
only
I
their stories.
travel. I travel and I learn. And he's picking away again.
I
You know,
drink and I know things.
I drink and I know things. That's right. Yep. um, yeah. So you want to eventually make your way to the cemetery at nighttime?
Yeah, I'll if anybody's just like, "Oh, he's not keep going," I was like, "I've heard this one before." Uh,
Yeah, no, we're too worried about where you're going. They saw you come in together,
yeah,
uh, and have a bunch of conversation.
yeah. I'll walk about the town at night. As I get closer, like just a winding path through the town, getting closer to the cemetery. Being incoming. Uh,
I can take it
yeah,
for a while. It's
I'm gonna
fine.
take a winding route to the cemetery so as to not just be like, I'm going straight there, and attract
Yeah.
attention.
Make a stealth check.
Mm.
Seems like the right call here.
Oh, sure it's not like sleight of hand. I can just sleight of body.
Slight body. I'm gonna call it stealth.
13.
13's not
That's
bad.
not so bad.
Looking for you. So,
Okay. I'm gonna go to the part of the fence I found earlier where the bars look slightly bent already
a little rusted.
and slightly rusted.
Uh-huh.
And I have the ability to cast Produce Flame,
Sure.
and I want to produce just a small little flame, like in between my fingertips. So I hold up my right hand forward and produce the flame in between the fingers to get to the point where the metal is more malleable.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
going for the headphones.
As a cantrip, right? I'm gonna say I want you to roll.
Let me double
Uh,
check one thing with it.
sure,
It lasts for 10 minutes until I dismiss it, or if
sure,
I throw it as a spell attack.
absolutely fair. But this is you. You get
Yeah,
close to it. It's not a super soft metal.
yeah.
So, and you are using a cantrip. So I'm gonna say we're gonna roll to see if you can like focus on it enough to strengthen it to be good enough for what you're trying to do.
Would
So
that be Arcana or Charisma?
I'm gonna use your spellcasting modifier. So
Spellcasting modifier. Okay.
gonna go straight up charisma check
Okay.
just to see if you can kind of get a potent enough focus on the magic. Yeah, I'd
19.
say for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
it works out. You're able to you get both hands going and you kind of get the flame. You hold it in a specific. You kind of work different parts of the gate, so you're not just trying to pull the middle out.
I was gonna. It was like part of the fence off to the side that I was doing this to. So the gate, because the gate's like front and center where everyone can see it.
Oh, sorry. My brain is like the whole thing is like a wall. It's fine.
Oh
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
the wall, the fence. Yes, the bars that were already a little broken, and yeah, you managed to bend it enough that you can sneak in for sure.
And the best part is I have resistance to fire damage. So,
Very good. Yeah, you don't take any damage. It's you're the source of what's happening. So
and then I will make my way towards the mausoleum.
making your way inside. Oh, I can't not do it. Okay, yes. So as you're making your way towards the mausoleum, you see a friendly face. Maybe it's a friendly.
A familiar face at the very
Oh,
least.
you see a friendly robed figure, familiar robed figure. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is the one who was sitting opposite the table. So this is the one you just spoke to in the alleyway earlier. Should have been clear. Was the one that gestured to you before to sit down.
The one that led the conversation initially.
That's the one you're seeing now.
Yes. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. And they say they kind of appear. You didn't really see them coming. They kind of not apparate, but they kind of come as a surprise. Critical role. Very good. I had a random person. I went to pick up some food from a restaurant yesterday to bring home, and a random person said they liked my Critical Role hoodie, and I was like, "Critters are everywhere, right?"
Oh,
Anyway,
real quick, can I,
yes,
um,
probably.
because I can cast it at will, can I throw up false life on the approach
Sure. Yeah.
just in case? For some reason, it didn't make a attack roll. Let me just double check. I think it's a D4 plus 4. Yes. Yeah. 8 temp HP for an
Nice.
hour.
Super good.
You're in the right channel.
Yeah. gonna say, show that crit love. Uh, where we're a paladin, we'll share some lovely emotes if prompted enough. Um, anyway, yeah, so you got yourself all prepped there. The figure appears. Forgive my rudeness earlier. I am High Priest Incus,
The
and they
INCUS.
pull INCUS, and they pull off their hood, and it's just straight up a skull. It is a This is a skeleton you are speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Uh, if you are ready, I would like you to please follow me. And they walk to the main door. Do you walk towards the main door with them?
I would like to just do a sweep of the surrounding area outside
Sure.
first, just in case.
Absolutely. Perception check.
19.
17 plus 2 for
No,
19.
no, no, no,
We should
19.
probably name the number and the modifier each time. We haven't been great about that. Um, so 17 plus 2, giving that 19. You don't see anything lying in wait. There's a lot of places to hide though. You don't see any other figures
Okay.
or
As he
creatures.
walks in,
Mhm.
he'll just hold his hand over the loop on his belt, and
Yeah,
I'll have the rapier apparate in the little burst of flame.
sure. Sleight of hand if you want to hide it.
It's kind of hard. It's a little burst of flame for the flare.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a 4 plus 4 for 8.
Yeah. They kind of look, just nod silently. As you approach this front door, you see a plaque, and there's some writing on it that I believe you do understand. What languages do you know?
I've got common and primordial.
Common and primordial. Is that it? I swear I saw
Yep,
more in your
that's
sheet.
it. That's it for Vatra.
Gotcha. You're able to make out like one of the words, kinda. Uh, just based on something in your backstory a little bit, but uh,
That
you
was a
can
question I
tell.
had. That was a question I
Sure.
had. If I would, because of the backstory, would I have infernal?
Yes. So you
Then
actually can read
okay.
this thing. Yeah, it's in Infernal, and it says, "Wow, I just lost my note." There we go. Here gathers the Church of Ambition, invitation only. And it's kind of scrawled on as definitely someone's handwriting. Like this was made after the fact. Go ahead and make a history check for me.
That is 8 plus 2 for 10.
10. You've heard the name Ambition before. It's capitalized here. You get the sense they're speaking of an individual or not just the term itself. Um, Ambition is like a random, like reclusive wizard. You know, they stem from Enchil, that coastal city. Uh,
Okay.
they're just old enough that their word of them has come around. You don't know anything about them that would lead a entire church or cult to
Hmm.
follow in their name.
I mean that makes sense. It's close enough proximity.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, they say, "Well, if you were ready," and they open the door and they go to walk inside. Upon entering this room, you see a relatively small room, no other figures inside. There's a tomb, or a stone coffin, if you will, at the front of the room. You see it's the symbol of Tyr up. So whoever originally it was buried here. Definitely was probably stemmed from this town and must have been relatively important. But there's no sign saying who it was. Uh, he places both of his hands on the lid, again, skeletal hands, and mutters an incantation you don't recognize in a language you don't know, and then steps back. After a few moments, you feel the room begin to rumble lightly, and the sound of stone grinding as the tomb slides away, revealing a staircase lit by torches that goes spiraling down. Well, we can't meet in the open.
No.
and he begins to walk down the stairs. Do you have any questions?
Yes.
Please.
Not yet.
Well, come with me then. And he starts walking down the staircase. Do you just follow down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cautious, hand on the rapier, but not drawn.
Sure. We're going to repeat a song from earlier. I should mention my plan is to compose music to go throughout the podcast, but as this was session one, I didn't exactly know how everything was going to go for sure. So I'm going to compose it after the fact.
To be fair, that's
So we're
D and
going to
D
play.
in general.
Yep. So I'm going to play some more beautiful Kevin MacLeod. What a hero. Thank you,
Oh,
Kevin. I played this one earlier, but I liked it a lot. So yeah, you're walking down. You walk down for a few minutes. Like it comes for a while, and then you come to a large stone door, and this door is much more intricately carved. You see the carving of a hooded skull, much like they look like. The eyes are carved deep into the stone. Uh, Incus once again walks up, puts both hands to the door, mutters another incantation, and this time a different one, still unrecognizable but different sounds. And after doing so, the eyes glow with a bright green flash, like a gem has appeared or something, and the door then swings open.
What would I roll to know if that is a language or just arcane babble?
I'd say because you know Primordial and Common and Infernal, you don't recognize it as anything stemming from the Primordial language. Your guess is that it is some kind of thing that they have come up with as an organization, just based on the languages you know.
So
Um,
it definitely seems like a language, not just arcane nonsense.
um, More like arcane nonsense. It's
Okay.
like something, but arcane nonsense that you are unaware of for some reason.
Okay.
Mhm.
Might be arcane nonsense from a
It's
different
like
language.
it seems specific to what they're doing.
Mm.
Like more, maybe it's more of a command
Mm.
word than
Mm-hmm.
it is a
Mm-hmm.
spell itself. Yeah,
Got it.
it's a password, pretty much. But yeah, and they open the door and it reveals kind of just looks like a chapel inside. They're not like intricate wooden pews with like symbols all over the place, but it's like there's benches for seating, and you see like a dozen figures that are not robed down here. At least their hoods are not down, and they're all kind of quietly going about their own thing. Maybe they're praying, maybe they're thinking. You don't know. A couple of them are speaking in the corner. One of them looks over and shushes them. He says, "This is not what we're here for." Uh, as you walk around the perimeter of the room, he leads you to another small door. You don't see any major. Again, it's not like stained glass because this is all underground, but there is definitely kind of the spacing where that might be. It's not. This looks set up not like it was here, so they put this together over a little bit of time. But it looks like it's maybe under construction more than anything else. And he says,
Mm-hmm.
"We're going to speak in here if you don't mind," and leads you into this small room in the back.
Okay.
Making sure our stream is still good. It's loading on my end, but that might just be my computer.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
On my end, at least.
Just checking. Okay, and he brings you into this room and he says, "So, let's speak more candidly. It appears you seek something you probably wouldn't have followed after we told you we had knowledge if you were not truly seeking knowledge. And I imagine you haven't been able to find it anywhere else. Otherwise, why would you follow these strange skeletal figures down below the earth? So, what are these questions you have?"
Well, I bit personal. Just looking into rituals, ancient or even current, more recent, as long as they're powerful rituals.
You see a smile come across his face. Well, definitely in the right place. Um, Ambition can certainly help with
I
rituals.
mean,
In fact, Yes.
We're talking about the person or the quality of the trait.
Well,
Uh,
I'm speaking of the person, but it is certainly an ambitious goal. Uh,
mm.
again, you're confused as to why they would follow a reclusive wizard from Enchel.
Could I make a Arcana check? Because skeletons typically aren't
Yeah.
talking, or
Yeah.
forming cults.
Mm-hmm.
Is that would be Arcana, correct?
Yeah, I'll take an Arcana.
All right, that's a 12 plus 4 for 16.
It's a pretty good roll. It is weird.
I'm mostly the purpose of this roll, just to specify, is well, I guess maybe two rolls. One, what could give potential? What could give um normally meandering, wandering undead a form of sentience? Uh,
Sure.
and then two, if they are if they are like following this ambition person, uh, could I ascertain like the school of magic that they focus on?
Uh, you rolled well enough.
Likely, at least.
They notice you thinking. They say, you only know of ambition from his public uh, persona.
I know the name at the very least.
He's dabbled a little bit into what some would call lichdom. So he's very aware of rituals. We're going to take a 2 or 3 minute break as this child needs a particular service done.
And as Vatra slowly starts to unsheath his rapier
Sure.
at the mention of lichdom. So,
Mhm.
we will be back
In just a few minutes.
just a few minutes, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you're inside. You've gone down. You just made a check. He told you that ambitions apparently at least sought out lichdom and the undead.
And at the mention of undead, or at the mention of lichdom, I started drawing my sword in this room where I assume, alone with this skeletal individual.
You are. He doesn't seem threatening to you.
Well, the idea of lichdom does. That's why I drew my weapon.
Sure. I see your apprehension. He's not. He has answers. I can assure you of that. So, if you're willing, we just simply ask you to help with us with our job here that we need done, and we will work towards having you speak to him.
Rapier still in hand. What is this job?
Well, speaking of rituals, we require assistance obtaining a relic that is necessary for a ritual of our own soon. That bloody chapel in town keeps this relic. We had planned a way to obtain it, but we have reason to believe that they have learned of our original plan. You, being new to town, are a perfect opportunity for us. They have a celebration in a few days' time. Unlike for us, it is at night. We would like you to befriend the congregation, gain access, and make sure the back door is open for us to get in. That's all. Of course, we do need to know that you're capable of defending yourself if things get messy. That's why we asked you to prepare yourself tonight, just to test what you are capable of.
Mm.
There could be
Sorry,
a
you said
monetary
it's a few days?
Yeah, it's within a couple days. Yeah.
Okay.
There can be a monetary reward as well. We do work in other fields to keep everything here afloat.
Hmm.
If there's anything you're particularly looking for that you don't have the money for currently, or just, the acquisition of gold is quite common.
What is it that you need me to do tonight, to prove my capabilities?
We have a practice room of sorts.
Fine.
And he gets up. He walks to the back wall of his office. He mutters one more incantation, and you see the wall slide open, revealing a large circular stone chamber. The floor is, well, I'll show you what it looks like.
Hmm.
The floor looks pretty straightforward. It's not too crazy. It's this kind of mosaic tile design.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you drag me onto the map?
I thought I did it first. I did. Oh, yes, your token. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes. He says, "Oh, I didn't mean to draw." Well, he actually says, "I would go to the center of the room if you want the best ability to see what's going to happen here. Are you prepared?" Typically, I wouldn't ask, but
How long has the conversation been?
a couple minutes.
Okay. Or including the walk? The
Oh, you've
walking
had it
down?
there. Probably 5 or 10 minutes altogether. How long is the spell?
An hour.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. Uh, you take a deep breath, and that's about all the time you have for. As you see, some less friendly-looking skeletal figures appear around the room. Going to quickly. Oh, I can't do that because I don't want you to show up. Oh no, that'll work. Hold up. You see
Hmm.
4 skeletal figures appear around the room. We're gonna roll some initiative, and we're gonna change up the music here.
Turn those up a little bit.
Yeah, please do. It gets a little louder after the intro.
13 plus 2 for 15 for Vatra.
Oh, I never. Oh no. Okay, so it still rolled for me. That's fine. Why did? Oh, I forgot to add turn. Whatever. It's fine. Well, you're going before the normal ones at least. Let's see about this other guy over
What do you
here.
mean this other one with a visibly different token is a different kind of thing?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the same. What's your dex?
14.
You go before it, as it also rolled a 15.
Let me just hit the dex tiebreaker.
I'll just type in a 14 for you. It's fine, because I don't have it set up in my end yet. There. Okay. Lurk away. Thanks for joining.
How you doing, Phoenix?
This combat's leading towards the tail end of the session. Shouldn't be a terribly long thing, and I hope that you do as well as I expect it. So Vatra, you're starting things off. What you got?
Check one thing. Okay. I'm going to start off strong, I'd like to think, by bonus action casting Hex on this biggin right here.
He is hexed.
And I will Hex his strength for any strength-related checks.
I can't remember if that is a deduction or a disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, and then I will throw up a... There we go. And then I've got the rapier in hand already.
Sure.
And I'm just gonna rush up and try to get him. It's a total of 9 to hit.
Moment. Okay. Gonna do this. Oh boy. I'm gonna modify this. So this is an interesting question, or not? your weapon is magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances,
Sure.
I
It's
believe.
produced by my pact. Yeah. I just
Yes,
summon it.
but it uh it doesn't say it's not a +1.
No.
So we're gonna do some. I'm gonna modify this a little bit. I thought about this before. So um I'm gonna roll something, and it's not gonna be as permanent as this ability might normally be. Um, so yeah, you go to swing at this thing, and not only, I mean, you swing out and go to strike at it, and it seems to, because you missed, you kind of hit it in a way you weren't expecting to. I mean, you probably stab, not swing, it's
Hmm.
rapier, but and you're you feel like you lose a little bit of the grip on your weapon, and for this combat, your weapon is going to have one less to hit.
Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, this is normally much worse, but because you're a warlock with a packed weapon, I'm modifying things.
Okay. Adjusting that.
Mm-hmm. But he is hexed,
Yes.
so that's good. Anything else from you,
Was
Vatra?
that 18 based off something?
Oh, I forgot to whisper it. It was I was determining something one way or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is my turn.
Okay.
Whole turn.
It comes to the. Do you want it? What it's called? Do you know what this thing is?
I have no idea what this thing is.
The Swordbreaker Skeleton's turn.
Ah, so that's what it tried to do.
Normally, it's an automatic thing, and it's much worse.
Yeah.
But I'm being nice. So it is going to. It also holds a sword, you see, and it's going to pull the sword out, and it's going to try to make a two-handed swing at you. Let's see how that goes. This should roll the way I want it to. I'm going to double check with the gear real quick. Like, why is it not? Oh, there we go. Always whisper rolls. Great. Okay, cool. So it's going to strike you with its long sword here. What is your AC?
13.
It does hit with a 21, and it actually rolled max damage. So that is 13 slashing damage
Okay, I only take 5 actual.
because of
False life.
false
Temp,
life.
because I rolled max on that for 8 temp HP.
Yeah, no, nothing here should be able to one shot you or anything like that. Even with a crit, I think you'd still be alive. So it's going to just kind of. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, so it just kind of braces there, and it gets ready for you. Then the
Hex stays up.
yes, the skeletons rush in towards you. They can all make it. They're gonna kind of go in that formation, and we're gonna have 3 little strikes coming at you. Actually, you know what? One of them's gonna stay back, and he's gonna shoot at you. So short bow first. That's a natural 1. He goes to shoot, and you just lean. And the other 2 are both making sword attacks. They both miss. A 10 and a 12. So they all miss you with their hits. You're able to just kind of deftly dodge. You're more focused on the big one, but you're good enough in combat.
Yeah.
That you're pretty good about that. And that brings us back to your turn, Vatra.
Speaking of the big one, I'm going to go around the back of him. So,
sure, they would have
yes.
attacks of opportunity at you with their swords. They will take them. Oh, boy. Well, a natural 20 and a natural 1.
Ah!
So, you take another 11 piercing from the one that managed to hit you. He just managed to just get you in, like, the back of the leg where you weren't expecting as you ran past.
So I lose Hex.
Oh, no.
But I need all 3 of them in front of me to make a dexterity saving throw as I cast Burning Hands at 2nd level.
Nice. So 3 dex saves. Sorry, let me... What is your...
DC 12.
DC 12. That is a 10 from the skeletons. So no. And the bigger skeleton rolls a 12, unfortunately.
Alright, so that's 13 for the regular skeletons, and then 6 for the bigger one.
Well, you watch the other two collapse to the ground as you took out their exact number of hit points.
Hey.
I'm just gonna X him out. And the other one, I mean, takes the hit. Doesn't look like he's resistant to it or anything like that, which is probably good. -6 for him.
And I soak up some of their essence and get
Yeah,
5 temp HP from
excellent,
Dark One's Blessing.
beautiful, beautiful thing.
Um,
Anything else from you, Vatra?
double checking one last thing. Okay. Done.
Okay, everything from you. The big one. Uh, he's gonna try to swing out with this longsword again. He's already got it bared. So he reaches back with the longsword, and that is a 23 to hit.
Yes.
He doesn't even have that high of a 2 hit. It's just rolling well. Uh, and that's seven slashing, much lower roll this time now.
Okay.
He really feels like he wants to stay right with you. He feels good about it. So he's staying right where he is. The skeleton over here is gonna get a little closer, but he's still gonna shoot with his bow. His short bow. The idea of a skeleton drawing along a short bow is just hilarious to me. How they have the yeah, it's fine.
Magic.
I've rolled another natural 20, but he rolled relatively low, so that's only 9 piercing.
I'm unconscious.
Even past your temp?
Yeah. Because he kept getting all of my temp HP taken care of.
We're gonna do this. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
All right.
Eight. Okay. For the sake of this, they're gonna start to back off, as they're not aiming to kill you. And you kind of start to come to a little bit, and they're not here. And Incus, the high priest here, approaches him and turn the music over. Approaches you. It's like, well, they're a tough order. How you doing there? He heals you a little bit. He gives you a cure wounds is what? 2d4 plus
Cure Wounds is 1d8 plus a modifier.
1d8. Thank you. We're just gonna say he has a 3. Gives you 11 hit points.
Mm.
Big guy hits hard.
Yeah. And dissipate, and then as an action, resummons the rapier in full repair.
Yeah, it's back to normal.
Would have thought that if you're just testing people that are by themselves, yeah, maybe
Oh, don't
not so.
worry. We didn't expect you to necessarily win the fight, but you held your own better than you might think. He's certainly taken down many, and you kind of see the large skeletons like off in the corner, just kind of like sharpening his sword menacingly. He's a secret weapon of sorts. We don't really want to lose him. Nah, he's your backup. Don't worry. We're still okay with you. We're not expecting you to have to fight your way out of there, unless things go south. We just want to know you're capable. Those are some neat tricks you've got.
Hmm.
Who gives you your power?
Not ambition.
That's certainly true. He leads you back up. He's asking you as you go. I'm expediting because we're getting far along. But he leads you back up the stairs. He says, remember, 2 days' time, 2 nights from now, we will send word, even if you are in your room. I don't know why. And he sighs. They should have found me last night. Um, and he says, "We will send word for exact time, but go back to the temple. Talk to them. Be friendly enough to join in on their celebration."
Mm.
I know it's a tall order, and he kind of just it's almost awkward the way he kind of leaves you there. He just walks back, closes the door of the mausoleum, leaves you there in the cemetery. How's Vatra feeling?
He's pissed. Vatra's pissed.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Gonna go back to the tavern.
Yep.
Gonna
I was
buy
trying to
gonna
but
buy a stiff drink.
okay. He asked for 5 copper pieces, and he gives you something that's a little darker, a little stronger. He pulls it out of a quiet thing in the back. He says, "I know you're not one for talking much, but God, does that driver of yours not stop talking?" Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
My name is Ags, by the way.
Didn't ask.
I know.
And he downs the drink and goes upstairs.
You go upstairs. So,
And he closes the door,
uh-huh.
lays his jacket, uh, pulls his jacket off, tucks it into the bag, uh, into his bag of holding,
Sure.
lays down and just says, "I'm gonna need some time to think on this. Have fun." And he goes to sleep.
Vatra. Everyone sees Vatra go to sleep. Um, and didn't ask about Cinder. Yeah, very much so. Um, oh, Cinder. But Vatra goes to sleep, and as he wakes up the next morning, doesn't look the same. Do you have the picture available, Kyle?
Vantra wakes up, or I
Mm-hmm.
wake up, and instead of that bronzish colored skin tone with the orange lines and hair, the skin is seafoam green in color, and there is a paler, lighter. You could swear it. Maybe it's just the trick of the light. Lines are almost glowing, and they are in a wave-like pattern that runs up his hands, up his neck, um, and he has this dark, almost seaweed green colored hair, uh, and opens his eyes slowly, and then just bolts awake. Immediate, like, just snaps his fingers, and a book appears in his hand, and as he's flipping through it furiously. No, 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 no. How much? How, how long was I out?
Uh, your last notes in the book that were written to you, you basically you got a 100 at the top of the page, and you've just been keeping tick marks and counting down. The last time you looked at your book, uh, there were you were down to 80 days remaining, and now there are 77. Appears you've lost 3 days time here,
Shit.
and I think that's where we're going to end things to pick up for next time. So, thanks everyone for joining. There were lots of lurkers, so you heard certain things throughout.
Well,
My last sip. Thank you, Cake Orange. And thank you, Cake Orange,
mm-hmm,
again, the artist behind these beautiful pictures that you've seen so far.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So our friendly Vatra just woke up in a different body.
Or at least a different mind within the body. It seems
Mm-hmm.
different reactions.
Something else is going on here.
But
So every 2 weeks for this game. Next week we'll be back. I don't know if anyone tuned in on Friday. We had our fun little what grinds our gears and rules is written roundtable with
yes, with some friends.
people from some friends. And we're gonna do our Sunday GM roundtables. opposite this game, and the podcast will be released the opposite week of the session as well. So
But yeah, hope you all enjoyed and thank you for joining in at least on the premiere of this adventure, whatever name we decide to give it.
yeah, for now we're just Death Saves with Advantage.
Yeah,
Campaign 2,
campaign
kind of.
2,
Yeah, I don't even.
season 2.
Season 2, yeah. New story. Who dis?
But the goal, the hope, at least for me, is that we can have this episode out, or we'll have episodes out a week later.
Yeah, at the
Um,
very least, if not within the week leading up to the next episode.
yeah, so there's plenty of time to catch up. But yes, to recap, we will be back with this game, continuing Vatra and whoever this is story in 2 weeks' time. Thank you again for joining us in the fun, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.